Hey guys. All right. Please say hello to me if you are here, just in the comments. I would love that. Okay, cool. Hey, Christy. Good to see you. I am just going to wait like probably 30 more seconds to see if people will come and log on. You can hear me okay, Because I sometimes when I use this microphone, you can't hear me. You just let me know you can hear me. Hey, Bob. How are you? Thanks for coming to this live. Hopefully I have some new things to actually talk about today that you haven't heard before. Can you guys hear me okay? Somebody. No? Can anybody hear me? Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome, guys. Okay. So today we're going to be just talking about, thank you so much. We're going to be just talking about, obviously I'll answer any of your questions. So I'll just change my little thing here because I feel like people always come on later in the live stream and be like, can I ask questions? They're like, not sure. So obviously ask any questions. Thank you so much for those of you who asked me questions on Instagram. So I'll be answering those Instagram ones first. And then I'll answer questions during the live stream that you have to ask. And then I will go to sort of random facts and a little update about living in Yellowknife. So you're going to be talking about a few new really random things that I didn't really know where to put in videos. Like I could have just made a random video, I guess. But so that's one thing. And then we've been living here 2.5 years now. So I just thought I would give you like a little update about that. So that's the plan for today, if that sounds good. I won't keep you guys past an hour. I'm assuming it'll probably be shorter than that. So just to give you an idea of what my thoughts are for that today. So the first question is from Christy. Thank you. It sounds like she's coming down soon, so she had a couple questions about camping. So the first one was, is there lots of crown camping? And I hope I'm going to answer this properly, but we do have like 3 campgrounds that wouldn't be considered on crown lands. I don't know if your plan is to camp in those, but I'm pretty sure like at the beginning of summer, they are like, they go quickly. They're booked quickly. So if that's something you're planning on doing, anybody who's coming down camping, I would suggest doing that soon. But as far as like crown land, I don't know what's exactly considered crown land, but it's not like other provinces. There's like tons of land all around everywhere. And I'm pretty sure you could just camp wherever. Like, I don't think there's any laws or anything about that, but don't hold me like for sure about that. But I do know when we go camping or like hiking on trails that we always see like evidence of people just like stopping and camping at random places, or we'll like see people with camping stuff. So like, I'm pretty sure there's no real regulations. If you really wanted to go like in the deep bush somewhere and drive along the road and camp somewhere, I'm pretty sure you could do that. But yeah, so that's my answer to that. Does that answer your question, Christy? I don't really know, but I don't exactly know what's considered. I tried to look it up, like what's considered crown land, and I just kind of talked to my husband, but like, we're not exactly sure. Hey, Matthew, my daughter's name is Alice. She's 7. I'm sure you've seen her in some of my videos. And then I have a son who's 5 as well. His name is Tobias. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, just stop and drop your stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be good. But I know your next question was about bugs. So I'll answer that. The bugs have actually been like really good this year. I'm not really sure why, but there hasn't been as many mosquitoes. But if you were doing that, like just randomly camping in the forest, I imagine there would be a lot more bugs than if you were going to the campground. So we have 3 campgrounds. There's Reed Lake Territorial Park, and there's Prelude Lake Territorial Park, and there is Fred Henne Territorial Park. And the only one I can speak to, just to clarify, I have never been camping here. I'm not a camper, but I have been to, like, the Fred Henne one is right beside the beach and the main beach here or whatever. So I've been to the beach lots to like face paint and just take my kids or whatever. And the bugs have been really good. Like, I remember when we went last year, the mosquitoes and stuff just drove you crazy. But this year it wasn't bad at all. So I think that it might be a good year for it. However, I would still bring like bug spray and a bug net and whatever you feel comfortable doing, because yeah, I feel like you still might have some issues. I don't know about Prelude and Reed Lake, but like I said, camping is super, super popular here. So I'm not the best person to speak on it, maybe, but Yeah, yeah, I was just saying that, Bob. Yeah, there it's really weird. It's really good. And we've been spending a ton of time outside this year. And the bugs have been good. I don't know. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been awesome. So another person asked me, how long did it take to adjust to Yellowknife? And I thought that was a really good question. Before I get into that, I just laughing at this. You have to take your kids camping. I know you're probably thinking I'm a terrible mom, but yeah, no way. You know, when I would go camping is if I had a big trailer. I would be okay with that. But like not even. I would still be like annoyed, but I would do it. But I used to go camping with my family when I was young all the time, like in a tent. And I don't know, I just hated it. But this reminds me of one of my comments recently. Someone was like so angry that I was talking about Yellowknife, and like they were like how, like why is this woman representing Yellowknife? I'm putting that in quotes because like I obviously don't represent Yellowknife in any way. I'm just like sharing my experience coming from like a decent sized city in Ontario, but they were just like so angry. Like, why isn't this some bearded guy? Like, it's not me. Like, I'm not super outdoorsy. The outdoorsy things I do are because of my husband. So I'm so grateful for that, and my kids because they love being outside. But like, if it were just me living here, I would probably not be doing any of that stuff. So anyway, I think that's really funny. No one in tent for their experience. Actually, yeah, I know. My husband, I think, is going to take them. Like, we have a tent and all the stuff, but I am. He's just like waiting for a. I think he has like a because he has like a CPAP machine, so he needs like a battery for it. So, I think he's going to take them. But yeah, no, not me. I've had the experience. Okay. What other communities, towns, cities do you visit or recommend in the Northwest Territories? Thanks for asking that, Colby. We have been to, okay, we've been to Hay River. We were going to take a trip to Fort Providence, I think it was, but it got canceled because of a flood or something at the time. We were going to go fishing around there, so we'll have to go back there soon. I think it's really only Hay River. I feel like I'm screwing that up, though. Oh, maybe I've been to, I don't want to say because I screwed up every time. Betchico. I don't know. I think we've been there too. But we've just like kind of driven around. But yeah, so that's really it. But I do plan to visit more cities and towns and stuff around and post videos about them when we do get there. When we got here, it was 2.5 years ago, like I said, and COVID happened shortly after, and I feel like we're still kind of like recovering from that. So we really haven't done a lot of visiting around. But thank you for asking that. Sorry, that wasn't a very good answer. Yeah, so someone was asking me on Instagram how long it took me to adjust to Yellowknife, and I just kind of like asked Chris before this video because I was like, I feel like it didn't take much time at all because I think a lot of people have the impression that it's like some unusual city, like living in Nunavut, like in Iqaluit or something, but it's pretty normal. It's just like a small city. So the only things we really needed to adjust to were like the lack of things we were used to, like chain restaurants or like figuring out how to get around, for example, was super easy because it's really small. So that was really quick. And we had lived away from family before, so that wasn't really something we had to adjust to. So so obviously if you're really close to your family and you move really far away, that might be hard. And then the other thing I would say we had to adjust to was like we used to take a lot of trips around our city. So like, like we just pop into random cities, and you don't really do here. So that kind of goes back to Colby's question. You don't really do that here because if you are visiting a city, it's a very like there's really not a lot in the communities and cities. So you're going just basically for outdoors things. So yeah, it's not like you're like going to go to the zoo or like visit kids attractions or stuff like that. So the closest place you would really do that is to drive to Edmonton. And that takes, I think, 16 hours. I just posted a video about that last week and I don't remember. But yeah, so we did that once. And then we plan to visit like BC and, more places in Alberta and things like that. But anyway, so that was an adjustment as well because we used to take little trips instead of really big flight trips. We've never done that as a family, actually. I've been married to Chris for 13 years and we've never taken a vacation together that's been just not like a city that's close by. So, I just answered that. I've been married 13 years this year. So I guess 12.5 technically. And my husband's really outdoorsy. His name is Chris. He has never done a video with me, but he promised that he would do a video when I reached 5,000 subscribers because he never thought I would get there. So, but that's going to come. I know it. So he will do a video with me then, but he even said maybe during this live, he will come down maybe, and I can maybe ask him a question or something, because I know Christy was asking about fishing. He does a lot of fishing and outdoor stuff. So his opinions would be awesome. He is so smart. So hopefully he pops down at some point. Okay. This is a great question. And community-wise, is it like any other small town in Ontario, or is there something different, special about it? Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's different for sure in some ways. We've lived, I guess I'll just tell you where we've lived. Like, my husband comes from a small town called Napanee in Ontario. I come from Kingston, which is close by, and then we've also lived in Cornwall. So Napanee might be around the same size, I think, as Cornwall. And I don't think there's anything particularly special about it, other than there's, like I said, nothing surrounding it. And also it's surrounded by like forest, and it's like really beautiful. Not that places in Ontario aren't beautiful. We did like a little road trip also through Ontario, and Ontario is really beautiful too. But yeah, I think it's just known for like how beautiful it is, the waterfalls and the scenery and the nature and stuff. But yeah, I really find it is so much more like a small town in Ontario than people realize. Like, I think people think it's this really exotic thing, and it is in like kind of a way, but not really. Like, it's pretty normal. I don't know if that answers your question. Obviously, and like as far as like it's decently diverse, same as Ontario, places we've been at least. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have like, I guess we have a lot more like languages and things here, but yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for the questions. Okay, I think I answered all the Instagram questions as well. So I'll just tell you a little update first. I guess I'll just tell you like super quickly, in case you're just logging on or whatever, or you haven't watched any of my videos or whatever. And I also don't usually tell my situation for every video, but we came from Ontario, and that's just because my husband graduated from school from nursing, and he wanted a full-time job, and it's really hard to find a full-time job in Ontario when you're like a recent graduate with no experience. And so we decided to move here because it was full-time. He entered the float pool when he first moved here, so he started working at the hospital, and that meant he could work on like several different floors and gain experience. And we thought that was a good idea because we thought we were just going to come and probably move away shortly after, because I feel like everybody that moves here thinks that. They're just going to stay here for a few years. And a lot of them do. So we have a lot of like locum positions for like so many different things where people will just come up on like a 3-month or 6-month contract and work. And that's things like specialists, especially like pediatric dentists or any kind of like specialist doctor, like kind of thing. They just come for a little while and they'll come regularly. And so like my children, I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but this was something I was going to talk about later anyway. My children needed to see a pediatric dentist because if they're not willing to just have the needle and do it like an adult, if they have to be like, have the gas or the juice or whatever, then they need to wait for a pediatric dentist. And that takes like 6 months to a year. So that can be like awful. So we had to wait like 6 months for a consultation, and then our appointment to actually fix it all is in November. So like that kind of thing is like awful. And also if you're looking to see a specialist for anything, you're mostly dealing with like telehealth appointments and or just going to Edmonton. And just a quick thing for anyone who is moving here, because I've had a lot of messages about people moving here soon or have moved here recently. Just know that you are not covered with any other provincial or territorial health insurance to be able to fly to Edmonton for anything you need, which can be a lot of things. Our hospital is really small, and it's the biggest one in the territory. And so if you need pretty much anything significant, whatever you need to go to Edmonton, and your health card will not cover it. And it takes, I think, 3 months or 6 months or something to get a Northwest Territories health card. So you need to get like private health insurance. So that's just like a random little thing. But anyway, so I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but I'll just answer a question here. Are there lots of tourists or foreigners not from the Northwest Territories in the territory? Which people from the provinces and territories do you see most, or even worldwide? Yeah, so we had a ton of people from, oh, I don't want to say, because I don't know exactly, but like lots of, I think Asian tourists, because yeah, like yeah, so because I think there's certain tourist companies that like are specific, like that speak the language and stuff. That's butchery, but yeah, so lots of like people from outside of Canada. As far as inside of Canada, I don't know. I guess I hear from people occasionally, but that say they want to visit from just random places in Canada. But I don't think there's like a specific province that we have like a ton of visitors from. I think people come a lot to see like the Northern Lights and yeah, just like experience the cold, I guess. So I think we get a lot more tourists in the winter, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, the Northern Lights, like I don't know, we still haven't really seen the Northern Lights fully, but we don't go out in like the middle of the night to see them. Like we have young children, and I am not like a huge nightlife person. So, but they're really like I feel like all the pictures are edited, and I would never say like if it was on someone's bucket list, I would be like, get it off your bucket list. I don't think it's worth it to be totally honest with you. But like, I don't know. People obviously come to see it and think it's wonderful and whatever. So I don't know. It's just my opinion from what I've seen of them so far. Hey Matthew, I've lived in Yellowknife for 2.5 years, and I come from Ontario. In case you missed that, and that's the only places I've lived. So. But yeah, so okay, so I was just telling you that. So our plan when we came here, it was to buy a house. I know I've talked about that a lot. And I've done lots of videos on the houses here. They are super expensive, like super expensive, like comparable to Toronto or like Vancouver Island kind of expensive. And there are a lot of modular homes, I think they're called, but like trailers basically. People give me trouble sometimes when I say that. Um, but that was kind of our plan, was to maybe buy something like that, or if we were going to save for an actual house here, which would be like at least like 600,000 at least for then we knew we were going to have to save a long time. But I think we've actually decided that we may not buy a house. We live here. We live in like the uptown area. I've done video tours. Everything's linked down below, by the way, that I thought would be helpful about Yellowknife. But you don't have to ask questions just about Yellowknife. Just for the record, you can ask questions about anything. But yeah, so what was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so we live in a great townhouse. It's 3 bedrooms. It's $2,100 a month plus electric. So the rent's really high as well, but that's really, really good for the area. It's usually a lot more expensive than that, at least by a couple hundred. And so anyway, we really like the area where we are. But like I've had a lot of questions because like I said, people are moving here about what areas are good and things like that. And I feel like every area, it's almost like Cornwall, where you have like a street, and then you have this part of the street is a really good area, and then maybe there's some like kind of a bad area, and then like so it's like all like that. So I don't feel like there's not really like a good area, maybe like Niven Lake or something. But our area specifically, like have a friend on a street that's like just over from us, and she has like so many like crack houses and stuff like that on her street. But we've never had a problem here until recently. Like last week we had our car broken into, and I mean I say broken into in like the nicest way possible. Like someone had just taken out all of our stuff and rummaged through it, and then like left it all like on the seats. Like we had like the kids' TVs and stuff in the back. Like there's definitely stuff they could have taken, but I'm assuming they were just looking for money. And we never leave money in our car. So anyway, so all our stuff was still there, but that was the first time we really had a bad experience. And I think it was just people kind of like trickling down from that area possibly. But yeah, that wasn't great. And then also like I've had a few experiences when I've been like out by my car. I think I've talked about this before, where people have like approached me asking for money or stuff like that. And that's kind of freaked me out a little bit, but yeah, anyway. Okay. Yeah, no, it's in Ontario. It's close to Ottawa, I guess. Is it close to Ottawa? In between Ottawa and Toronto, maybe? I don't even remember. It's just in yeah, in Ontario. It's like a medium-sized city, kind of smaller. It's not the best. It's just that that's where we went to school for my husband, at St. Lawrence there. I would never recommend anyone move to Cornwall. But anyway, so yeah, so we've decided, I think, not to move in the end. And I just wanted to talk about something that I don't think I've talked about before. I did do a video on, like, I separated the city into 5 different areas, I think, and just gave you like a little driving tour. But there's a little area called the Northlands, and that was somewhere we considered buying a house because that's kind of the cheapest area to buy. It's a trailer park, I think. Essentially, it's just a lot of trailers. But there's a thing called, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but you basically have to pay extra money. I wrote down exactly how much. It's $283.27 at 3.3% interest. And you have to pay that for another 18 years, like on top of everything else. And that's because they had, I guess, so it's, like I said, a trailer park. They all pay condo fees. And the water and sewage lines needed to be replaced like 15 years previous to 2015. So I guess in 2000, but it had been 2015 and they still weren't replaced and they needed to be. So I guess the condo association couldn't afford to replace it. So the city ended up lending the money to the condo association, and then the homeowners had to pay it for 25 years. So it's been however many years. It's 18 years are left on this payment. And then the city will take it over, and there shouldn't be a problem like that again with, as far as like with the condo association. But that is another really weird thing about living here, that like there are so many condo fees, like there's like houses on our street that pay condo fees, but like they're not condos. They're like, it doesn't make any sense. And you can tell like what the condo association would do would be literally nothing. Like you're responsible to take care of your whole house. Like I don't even know what they would be doing. It's so weird. Like every house you look at, like, oh, condo fees. And you're like, what? It's really, really random. So anyway, so with the Northlands thing, yeah, so that's just like something random. I don't know that. So we were like, oh, is it worth it for another like $300 a month? And I don't know. We're just like, we've kind of settled on probably not buying a house in the end. Do I live in a trailer? No, I was just saying I don't own my house. I rent. So I live in like a townhouse. But there's lots of trailers you could rent or purchase here. Like their trailers are like anywhere from like 300,000 to like 600,000. But I know they can be like single wide, double wide, triple wide kind of thing. But it's really, really expensive to buy here, rent here. Okay, so another random thing I wanted to talk about. Some of these are really random. You'll have to bear with me, but so the okay, hang on, wait. Oh yeah, okay, I already talked about that. I was going to talk about the specialist, and like I know a lot of people are looking to just try it out here or whatever. And if you are looking to come and be a locum of some kind, like just stay for 3 or 6 months at a job, there are ways where you don't have to like rent. Tons of people rent out rooms privately and things like that. So like you won't be like stuck here or anything like that, because I know that's a huge question people ask a lot as well. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really weird. It's an interesting story. So yeah, I feel like you catch a lot of things on the news. They're Bob about us. It's awesome. You probably know more than I do. I feel like you should be doing this video. You probably know a ton more about Yellowknife. Okay, Colby says, is it dangerous to drive through the Northwest Territories? How are the highways there? So there's pretty much just one to exit. Like we always joke about that. Like if there was a fire or something, we've got like one way out. Like, so let's hope it's not blocked. But yeah, no. So I've done a video recently too, just driving to like the end of the road, but there's a couple ways you can drive to the end of the road and the road just stops the one way. And then the other way is going to Alberta or like down and, south. But no, I don't think it's dangerous. It's funny because I have a video documenting my, it's probably in the moving to Yellowknife playlist, but I document our road trip. And the only thing I would say is we came in December. And so the roads were still fine. surprisingly, like we felt safe driving the whole time. The only thing I would say is two things, I guess. One is the wildlife situation. Like you always have to be very alert for wildlife that may come onto the road, because I've talked to a lot of people here that have had, crashes with wildlife. And then the other thing would be, we have these really weird, they work on the roads like every year, but they'll have these bump signs all along the highway. And if you don't slow down for some of those, like you are literally like just like flying, or could break your car like super easily. Because, but some of them are weird. Like some of you go, but we did not take it seriously when we first drove up. So we hit one of those first bumps and it was like, like just crazy. You don't expect it. So those are the two things I would say that would maybe make it dangerous. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Do you have a lot of, oh, this is a good question. Thank you for asking. Do you have a lot of wildlife visiting the town, like bears and others? Yeah, surprising amount of bears. Yeah, and especially on the hiking trails, but there's like groups and stuff you can follow to see, like if you're going on a hiking trail that day, has there been a bear? Like people are really good about like, oh, I saw a bear and whatever. You always have to carry bear spray, I would say. Even in the city, it would be a good idea, but not necessary. Maybe, I don't know. I don't, but like I feel like I should, because even just around our area, there's like right across from a school, there was a bear a little while ago. Actually, at another school in the playground, there was a bear. So places that like are right in the city, sometimes there are animals. We have a lot of like foxes, which are sort of like Ontario's raccoons, we say, because they are what's kind of roaming around in the city. So you do see a lot of foxes, but I don't know, they're generally decently safe. But yeah, I think that's really the only wildlife that visits in town. I could be wrong about that. Oh, maybe my husband's coming. He might tell me more. They're asking about wildlife that come into town, like bears. I just said like bears and foxes.
Yeah, mostly bears and foxes.
Yeah.
We have a few wolverines.
Oh, a few wolverines too, apparently. That's great. Oh, yeah, I remember freaking out about that and you being like, oh, it's fine. He's chill. All right. Oh, okay, cool. See you, Bob. Thank you for coming. You're awesome. Yellowknife is in the Northwest Territories, so it's in northern Canada. It's technically the subarctic, but it's pretty much the Arctic. Oh, wolves. Yeah, do we get wolves?
Very rarely. Coyotes sometimes.
Coyotes, he says sometimes, but yeah, maybe on the hiking trails and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Can't remember ever hearing about a wolf. Okay. So the other thing I want to talk about was like this is random, but like our recycling, and there's like this thing called the bottle shop. I don't know if this is like a Western Canada thing or what, but in Ontario, we had a system where you had like a gray bin for paper and stuff, and then a blue bin and for like bottles or whatever, and then a green bin for compost. And you would just like put it out with your garbage. But here we have these things where you have to drive to them, and they're like big dumpsters, and you bring all your recycling to them, except for like bottles of things that you drink out of. So like, pop cans, beer bottles, whatever. And you bring it to this thing called the bottle shop, and they sort it, and then they give you money back. So like when you buy it in the store, they charge you like an extra fee and then you have to bring it back to the store. I know they did that like a little bit in Ontario, because I remember buying like milk and being charged a recycling fee, but I don't think anybody actually brought it back to the store. But I don't know. But anyway,
I didn't.
Did you? I don't know. I never did, but like it's like outrageous here. Like you'll buy, little yogurt drinks for the kids, and it's like an extra $2 or something. You're like, this is crazy. That's outrageous to me. But yeah. So anyway, so there's those two things, which I think are kind of a unique thing about living here, at least from our experience from Ontario. Oh, thank you. How about construction jobs? Easy to get? I mean, I would think so, but I don't know. I know there's a few construction things going on. They're building like something new at the hospital.
Oh yeah.
So I know we have a lot of people visiting. I think at least in our church, we've had a couple people that have come up just for that construction job from like southern provinces. So like I'm imagining it would be.
I have heard that like that from like people that have like worked as contractors, that they have a hard time like keeping employees. So like maybe.
Can you hear Chris, guys? Can someone tell me? I'm laughing at you. The next question. So you said you heard from people that, say it again.
That like it like people that employ like construction people, that they have a really hard time like keeping employees.
People that employ construction people have a hard time keeping employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume there's a lot of jobs.
Oh, good. Christy can hear you. Okay, good. I won't repeat that. That's great. Awesome. This is excellent. Thank you. Have you played Super Mario Brothers 2? You know what's hilarious is we're playing Super Mario Brothers 3 right now. Chris and I together. We just played today, but I can't remember which one Super Mario Brothers 2 is.
That's the weird one where you like dig up the radishes.
Dig up the radishes. I love that one. The black one. Black cover with Bowser on it. Yes. I do love that. I love classic games. That's awesome. Okay. Is there anything to be aware of when going out fishing? Oh, see, she's like, Chris is there. I'm asking about the fishing. You're awesome. Or is it just like any other lake? Pretty decently safe. Great question.
Yeah, I've never had any issues when going fishing. I think it'd be perfectly safe.
Okay. I feel like Chris leans on the unsafe side of things. But what could be unsafe? I know there's arsenic in the water some places. That's something you might need to be aware of.
Yeah, in certain lakes. If you look at like the Northwest Territories fishing regulations, it'll tell you like which lakes have like higher arsenic content, and you wouldn't want to eat the fish out of there. But like the bigger lakes, like Great Slave Lake or the other lakes around here, don't have high arsenic content, so you'll be fine from those ones. But just look up the fishing regulations and make sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, see, like Chris is here, so there's tons of questions now. No, I'm just kidding. Do I need a car to commute to and from the airport in Yellowknife? I don't think, like it's. I guess the airport is one of the things that is like a little bit out of the way.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. Like.
Yeah, I mean, you could take a cab.
Yeah, you could take a cab. Like you could walk. Like, I think they're probably asking, can you walk or bike?
Yeah.
There's nothing around the airport, like really where you could live.
Yeah, so. It's on the edge of town, but everything is like within walking distance within town. Really.
Yeah, I agree. It depends.
You might not want to walk that far with luggage.
Oh, yeah, the luggage. That's true. Yeah, that's a really good point. But like a cab here would be really cheap too because everything's really close. I love you, Christy there. Okay, Colby, do you enjoy living by Great Slave Lake? Have you seen Great Bear Lake? Since you're from Ontario, do you prefer the Great Lakes to the lakes? Is this about fishing or just in general? I'm going to let Chris answer anyway.
I like living by Great Slave Lake, yeah, because the fishing is really good. It's a really pretty lake, too. Yeah, we lived in Ontario and Kingston, so we lived on like Lake Ontario. And yeah, I guess it's similar living. Like there's lots of people always on the lake and stuff, and it's nice. But Great Bear Lake is like much farther up north, so we haven't seen that. It's like we'd have to fly in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but that's like one of the places I'd really like to fish in the territories because it has like awesome lake trout fishing.
Colby was asking earlier, I'm just remembering that you might be able to answer this better. Recommendations for communities or towns you would visit in the Northwest Territories. Do you know anybody from work or something that might have said like, oh, this is a great place to visit?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest. I want there's some places like I want to visit. Like I want to like visit like Kakiska. Like the Kakiska River to do fishing there because they have like a springtime grayling run. And then there's some places I've heard like Fort Smith is supposed to be really pretty, and they have like but near there's like rapids that are supposed to be really nice, and then there's also like the salt flats, and also in the springtime they have like this giant snake pit. I guess like the snakes come up to breed. It's supposed to be pretty neat. Our kids are pretty interested in seeing the snake pit. It's supposed to be pretty interesting. So Fort Smith, I think. That's
a great answer. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad I brought that back up. Welcome back, Bob. He says, hi, Chris. All right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, congratulations, by the way. When are you moving, Tim? Have you messaged me before? I'm trying to remember. I feel like you might be familiar. Sorry, I can never remember, guys. I have like the memory of a fish. You have to talk to me like 100 times before I remember. I'm so sorry. I assume everyone knows each other there. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I mean,
it's about small town living.
Yeah, but it's still like there's like, isn't it still around like 20,000 people here?
20,000 people, yeah.
Yeah, so.
So yeah,
everybody.
No, it's not like that small.
Yeah.
But people generally know each other.
Yeah, it would be like living in a small town in Ontario. It's not like the communities where there's like hundreds of people or like maybe 1,000, and that's a bit different. But Yellowknife is pretty big.
Pretty big.
In comparison.
Comparison to the communities and stuff. Yeah, that's true. Awesome. Okay, Colby. Oh, that's awesome that you've lived by Lake Superior. Love the Great Lakes.
Yeah, we drove, like, when we drove up here, I liked really driving above Lake Superior. I thought it was really nice. It looks very similar here to like living around like Lake Superior.
Awesome. Okay, is there nightlife of some sort? Not necessarily nightclubs, maybe restaurants, bars with live music. What about sports, hockey, tennis? So nightlife, we're so into the nightlife. I'm just joking. We're not into the nightlife. But there is bars, like more like pubs, right? There's one strip club, if that's what you're asking. I don't know about it, okay? Neither does Chris, hopefully. He doesn't, I'm joking. But yeah, so there's like we were just talking about this today because Christy emailed me saying she's always asking me about the bar life. I get this question a lot. I really don't know. I don't know about live music either. There's a lot of live music events though, like Folk on the Rocks, and I feel like there's a lot like even the Ice Castle, when they build that, they have live music in there. I feel like we're a live music city. I don't know. I've heard more about live music here but I don't know I don't think it's anything you know in particular, but and then sports. Are you talking about like for adults or to watch or?
There's lots of like
to play
recreational sports. Yeah.
Okay.
I know lots of people from like that play hockey.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go. Lots of stuff for kids.
And there's like a tennis club that looks pretty busy. And there's like
the racket club. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, there's a racket club as well.
Too.
Isn't that like racket club?
Yeah, I think they do a bunch of things.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. They want to know your crazy hospital stories.
So
you can't say yeah. He won't tell you. It's just top secret over there. Let's see Chris's face too. I don't know. Oh man, then you'll never want to see my face again. So maybe not. Maybe another time. 5,000, he promised. So let's subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I'd love to see the snakes. Yes, I know. Our kids, man, they're gonna love that. I don't know if I'd like to see the snakes.
They're small snakes.
Might be okay. Okay, thank you for answering that. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. That's a good time to move, I feel like, September. Although, yeah, because I mean, we won't have snow until like about October.
Yeah, it starts to get cold in September.
You can, yeah, it does. You're right. It will be cold.
Switches very fast from like summer to like fall, and then it's winter like right away.
It's literally fall for like 2 weeks. It's like nothing. And then you're like, oh, it's winter. Yes, please ask questions, Yuri. Absolutely, you can. Oh, thanks for answering that, Colby. I see that you've answered that now. My friend actually recommended this channel to me. Aw, do you know Joe? He says he knows you from school. Joe, like from school, in Chris's school, my school. I don't know what we're talking about here, but Joe is vague. I don't know. Can you give me some more details here? About what? College, high school, like what were we talking? I know a couple Joes. Chris probably does too. Oh, here we go. Joe Mama? What? That's a joke. Okay, I don't get jokes. Don't joke with me. Hilarious. Okay. I would love to know how old you are, Yuri, with that joke. All right. So I'll get back to a few of my points, but yes, feel free to ask questions if you have any more, because I will be wrapping up soon. Okay, so I talked about the bottle shop thing. Oh, I was gonna say, I thought of this after, but the hospital not having private, or like the hospital only having private rooms because it's so small. thought that might be a thing to mention, that you don't need that like on your health insurance or whatever. Yeah, because it's really small. I don't know. And then the other last one I had was just like customer service here in general. I don't want to, I'm really weary now of saying too many negative things because I feel like people just like come at me when I say too many negative things. But I'm just like saying in general my experience, which is a little different from Ontario. So like in Ontario, when you go to like whatever, like anywhere that's like a retail job or fast food or restaurants or whatever. And like if people make a mistake, they're like, oh, I'm like so sorry. And they like do whatever they can to fix it. And it's like a big thing that the customer's always right. And I feel like here, like no one says sorry. You're almost like a burden if you like if something happens and like you have to be like, oh, like you forgot something in my meal or whatever. They're just like, I don't know. That's like been a huge experience we've had like multiple places here. I think it's really weird. People like, I don't know, don't say sorry for things here. So that's like, I don't know if, again, if that's just like a thing here or maybe we were just like extra Canadian in Ontario or whatever, but I think that's really weird. Oh, okay. What's your opinion on the US? I've lived in the north of the country most of my life and meet many Canadians. Oh, okay, you're from America. That's cool. Love Canada, and the northern states always have US and Canada flags side by side. Oh, that's neat. We hate the US. No, I'm just joking. We love you, Colby. No, I don't know specifically what you're asking an opinion about, but I would actually love to move to the US one day. We actually talked about moving to Texas at some point. But yeah, I don't know. What's your opinion on the US? I feel like this one will really get Chris going. I don't know how much he's gonna. He loves like the like political stuff down there and everything. He's always like following things. But what's your opinion on the US, Chris?
I like the US. I think it's a good country. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, it's wonderful. I feel like
I don't think we should get too political.
No, absolutely not. But as far as the flags go and stuff, that is true. That was kind of a thing back even where we were in Ontario. I think lots of people had American flags and whatever. Just because you're so close to the border, I guess. Yeah. Thanks. All right. I'm going to give you guys maybe like a couple more minutes. If you have any more questions, feel free to shoot them off. And then if not, I will see you guys next time. Also, like anytime you guys have video ideas or things you want to see, I really try to get them to you. So if you have that, like either, and if you're watching this after, not live, please go ahead and comment them down below because I love to hear them and I love to make them for you. So for sure. Let's see here. Oh, I shouldn't have put that up. No, I'm just kidding. Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. What makes those great, Christy? We were looking for things like for me, I was like looking for like things like just like homeschooling regulations and taxes is a big one for Chris. If we don't have to pay a lot of taxes.
No state income tax. Yeah.
No state income tax. Is that for all these?
Florida and Texas, I know. But I don't know about Tennessee.
Ah, is that what it is?
I also like fishing in Florida and Texas.
Fishing. That's it, eh? Like Chris would not move to Alberta just because he can't fish, you know.
Yeah, there's not enough lakes. They have a lot of rivers, but
there you go.
There's not enough lakes.
Come visit Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Also Wyoming. I heard great things about Wyoming. We have some friends in Wyoming. And Colorado, because I'm biased. We trust your opinion. I feel like we haven't traveled much to the States. Like I've been to New York and Ohio and Utah. I think that's it. And where have you been? Just New York, eh?
New York, New Jersey. Like all the kind of like a lot of the northeastern states.
Yeah. So we'll have to just trust your opinions on it.
Pennsylvania. You've probably been to Pennsylvania because you need to go there to get to New
York. Okay. Yeah. But like just past the border, I mean, though, no? Oh, if I was coming from Ontario?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If I were to buy a vehicle, should I get one locally or take a trip down south to Edmonton for car shopping? Awesome question.
Oh, we had so much trouble buying a car here, especially because it was during COVID, and we didn't want to like have to go to like down to like Alberta and get then have to isolate at the time. So we ended up buying a car here, but it was like such a painful process. It would probably be a lot easier to buy it in Edmonton, but you can buy cars here. I know someone from work told me that they like bought a new car in Edmonton and they like brought it like here. Or at least partway here, and she picked it up. But
okay,
yeah. So.
I have a whole video on our experience buying our car here. Like Chris says, it was brutal, but it was also like the guy we dealt with and stuff was awesome. But it was basically like we just took what was there. Like we're like, yeah, give me that one. Like as soon as because it was like there's nothing and it's just insanely competitive. It reminds me a lot of like the house situation. Like that's part of the stress about buying a house is you have to make a decision in 15 seconds or the house is sold. So yeah, that's definitely part of the nightmare. But yeah, I think most people go to Edmonton for sure. I bet Chris and I could have some interesting discussions. I bet. I was seeing because Bob's like so up on the news. I was saying he probably knows more about Yellowknife than here because he's like all up on the news and like is so smart. Yeah, you're both really smart. I can totally see that, Bob, for sure. I don't know why you follow me, by the way. Like you must like warm places at Christy. Oh, okay. Oh, the America thing, yes. I found you last year while doing homeschool research. Oh, Cassie! I love when people watch me for homeschooling stuff. I feel like it's not many people, but I love talking about homeschooling. I've commented before. I found it funny that we both moved here from Ontario too. Oh, you're not here. What? Oh, we have the same name, Cassondra. What? Are you in Yellowknife? We have to meet if you are. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a great place to homeschool. Best place to homeschool in Canada, for sure. Oh, not liberal states. Oh, we can't. Oh, we're passing that one. First. No. How to streaming? Oh, I'm not answering that one either. These are really fun right now, guys. Oh, thanks for the suggestion. No problem. You are. Oh my gosh. Have you met with any of the homeschool group or anything yet? I just met someone today who's been here for a while too, or not today, but a couple weeks ago. And I feel like we don't meet enough now since COVID, but we usually meet all together. So hopefully I will meet you soon. I'm so sorry that, yeah, there's not many of us, so I should really know who you are. I apologize. Okay. Hello. Hello. That's so awesome. You're watching from Italy. That's amazing. Thank you. I'm sure Italy is a lot more interesting than Yellowknife. All right. Well, I think that's it. So far, I've had a great time chatting with you guys. I'm going to try to make this regular, I think. So if you do have any questions in the future, then hold on to them maybe for the next live stream. I love chatting with you guys live. So thank you so much for logging on. Anyway, and I was just reading some of the comments, sorry. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Maybe we can get Chris to make an actual face appearance sometime. I don't know, pressure, but we'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for chatting with us, and we'll see you later.